and I hear a voice. And much like the person that I'm going to see downtown, who has passed away now, so I won't use her name, the man that I heard the voice, I recognized it right away. He's passed, so I won't use his name because I believe you should let the dead rest. I hear the voice and I know instantly who it is. Just a flash in the mind comes and I could see what was like what he always wore. Red work shirt and the tough skin kind of jeans and the work boots and the beard and the long black hair. And this man was huge. Like, he was a tall man, and he was a huge man, so he must have been like 300 pounds. At the time, I must have been maybe 5'2". I was a lot smaller than I am now. But I remember the voice because it was very distinct. His voice didn't match his body. You'd think a big man like that would have a big guff voice, but his voice was very mild, and he kind of had a lisp or a accent that I couldn't place, but we definitely used to make fun of it when we were kids. Not nice, but we did. I hear this voice come out of nowhere, and it says, "It's okay. Take my hand." And everything inside me curdled. And when it told me to take his hand, I put my hands underneath my arms like this. And I started panicking because mind you, it was complete silence. And that was the weird thing too that was turning me around. That I couldn't hear the river anymore. That I couldn't hear like cars in the distance. I couldn't hear anything. So it was literally like everything was on mute. So when I heard this voice and it broke up that silence, it scared the hell out of me. I didn't know what to do. I put my arms I put my hands in my armpits because I didn't want to take anybody's hand. I was so freaked out. And I just started walking straight. I didn't care. I just wanted to get away from the voice. I'm walking, and it felt like forever, but it was probably maybe 30 seconds a minute. And I start hearing a car in the distance. I don't see the lights yet, but I feel a little bit of hope, but I'm scared to show hope because I'm scared this thing's gonna just consume me. I start seeing the lights coming from 2 mile away from Old Town. And I realize that I'm in the middle of the road. As soon as the lights got close enough, I started running towards the car. I'm panicked. I'm running towards the car and I'm waving for it to stop. I'm like literally like not politely asking it to stop. I'm like screaming, "Stop." I have no idea who the lady was in the car. She looked very well to do. Her car was nice. Everything was well kept. Everything was clean. Everything, she looked like she had a nice home. She looked like someone I'd never ever would have like run into or talked to. Her eyes are huge. Her window comes down and she's screaming at me. Get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. And I look at her and I start running around the car. And I grab the door handle. And I don't know why, because I had no intentions on looking at it while I was still outside with it. But I had to look. I look and I see the man. The red work shirt, the tough skin kind of blue jeans, the work boots, the beard, the long hair. But it's not him. It looked noticeably fake. It looked like a bad replica of a person. Like, sort of like not like an 80s horror film, like 80s, 90s horror film where they try to do a replica of the person dying and they show that thing dying. Like you can tell that wasn't them. Like I don't know if I'm getting that across properly, but you could tell it wasn't him. I get into the car because this lady's still screaming at me and I don't want her to speed off away from me. As I'm getting in, the car blocks my view and I'm still looking. I get in, close the door, and I look. I'm sitting beside the lady and I look at it. And I realize that his feet are about 1.5 feet off the ground. Like he's suspended in air. Like I don't want to say he was hanging in the air, but he was suspended in the air and had a very blank look on his face. And his face didn't look real. The body, nothing looked real about it. And before we start driving away, I could see that he's being pulled back into the woods while he's suspended in air. I can see that it was like the woods were taking him back. Whatever it was, it was like he was being sucked back in. Like he's there and like he's just being sucked back in. The lady's screaming at me. She starts driving and she's like, "Who are you? Where are you from? Why are you out there? What the heck is wrong with you? Seriously." And I'm like, I'm sorry you had to pick me up like that. And she's barely listening to me. She's like, "Where do you live?" And I was like, "Hazelton, just up there." And I showed her where, and we're sitting outside of my parents' house. She's like, what the hell is wrong with you? What is going through your head that you're out in the middle of the night in the dark? She's giving me hell. And all I could say is, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say to you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for picking me up. And I get out of the car because all she's doing is giving me shit. And I'm a teenager and I'm not like, I'm over it. I just did not want to hear it anymore. I get it. I get it. I was stupid. I got out of the car. I went into the house. And my family's sitting there watching TV. And they just kind of look up at me and then look back at the TV. And I look at them like, okay. I went into the room. I covered up my window because for some reason in my head I'm thinking, this thing's going to look at me in the window. I didn't know I didn't know if I should do this video because I had no idea what to call it. I didn't know what to even name this video, because what do you call something that just came out of the woods like that? I told my brother this story when I went home on Thanksgiving, when, like, just in between shooting his videos. I told him this story and he was so mad at me. Oh, you're like idiot. Like, why'd you do that? And yeah, I get it now. But I told him who it was that I seen, that it was impersonating, that it was trying to look like. I told him who it was, and I said, I know it wasn't him. I know it wasn't him. And my brother Ron was like, yeah, because the real guy would never hurt a soul. He wouldn't hurt a fly. And that is my first story. That's what happened when I walked at night.